Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Same, if this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to watch my videos and subscribing. You all are the very best. So today there is actually a comment a black Latino, should I say a Hispanic man made, and I am going to drop I am going to drop it here so you all can see, because I really don't know how, he brought Black Americans into this discussion, because he's saying that, that he thinks Black Americans want to force them to accept their biases regarding race on Black Latinos. But then I am going to say that Latinos have always been all colorists by themselves. It is a big thing, it is a thing for them. It's not like I know I have done so many videos on that, and they have been colorists all by themselves. You know what? Let's get into this video. Stay glued to your screen. Do not click out. Let me roll the clip.
Latinos have never needed Black Americans to force their racial biases on us. We have our own. We have been anti-Black all by ourselves. Latinos have been colorists all by themselves. Latinos have been racist all by themselves, way before they come to America, way before they ever have contact with Black Americans. You know what the difference is? Normalized forms of racism, colorism, and anti-Blackness. What's normal amongst people in our culture, what's hush-hush, what's swept under the rug or not dealt with or just accepted, doesn't fly with Black Americans. And you just don't like the fact that a Black American will call you out on it, because it's not normal, and it shouldn't be accepted, and it shouldn't be okay. So when you have people in your own community letting you know that they've been hurt or traumatized or discriminated by people in our own community, family members even, you need to listen. You need to listen instead of deflecting, because this comment right here is a total and complete cop-out. It's straight up deflection, and it is a bold-faced lie. Our racial biases, they start back home. They start in our own countries, in our own islands. We just bring it here with us. You just don't like the boldness of how Black Americans deal with racism. Normalized anti-Blackness is not a value. Normalized colorism is not a value. Sweeping things under the rug and not talking about them, that's not a cultural value. It's not. Yet it's something that you seek to covet and put above Black Americans. You need to stop pitting Latinos against Black Americans and recognize that the root cause of all of the issues we have across all of our communities is white supremacy. Recognize how white supremacy is operated in your own life and how it has afforded you white privilege as a white presenting Latino and given you a life experience that more Black presenting Latinos cannot identify with. And stop propagating the lie and the myth that we don't care about race and there's no racism amongst us, because if that were the case, we would not be having this discussion.
I love the fact that she actually set this is his countryman. He actually set him straight. Yeah, because he was actually deviating from the thing. And why is he dragging Black Americans into his discussion? Black Americans they've always been standing up for the real thing and doing their fight and all that. Why are they being dragged into this? And I know Hispanic, they are very colorist. I am sorry to say, but that is true. They are very colorist. And they think because Black Americans are calling them to order, and for that reason, they want to call out Black Americans for just no reason. Yes, because if they think racism and all, they have swept so many things under the rug, and for that reason, they cannot think it is okay. And then they brought it, they want to do it to Black Americans, and it is, they don't want it. It is not okay. For that reason, he is trying to make a case and all that. The lady actually did speak very well, and I appreciate her sincerity. And it's enough is enough. Let them stop dragging Black Americans into their stories and all that, just for them to like feel cool and all that. Let's still get into it, because she went further to explain so many things, and why not? Let's get into it and then come back to talk about it.
Thread under Ida's video, but I think a video response is more appropriate because there's quite a bit of things I think need to be said. So while I understand what you're saying, I have to disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why. The issues of anti-blackness and colorism that exist in the Latino community, it doesn't just affect us. It spills out of our community, and it affects our interactions with Black Americans and indigenous communities. And we need to recognize that, and we need to be honest about that. The way that anti-blackness and colorism operates in Latino communities is usually covert. It'll be subliminal and underlying, but nonetheless very hurtful because you understand the intention. So for those Latinos that are racist, when they're dealing with Black Americans or indigenous peoples, that racism becomes very aggressive. It becomes very direct, very demeaning and disrespectful. Because the justification becomes, you may look like some of my people, but you're not my people. You don't speak my language and you don't have my culture. Which is why I disagree with limiting this conversation to just a Latino platform and amongst Latino communities. Yes, the conversation is important amongst us. Yes, we need to talk about it more and more. We need to be honest and go deep with it. Absolutely, I'm all for that. But we should not limit that. There shouldn't be exclusivity in that. There are so many negative reference points that people across the Latino, Indigenous, and Black American community have when it comes to anti-blackness and colorism. And it's not until we have these crossover conversations across our communities, across each other's platforms, that we're really going to be able to understand how much we have in common. Because the root of all of these issues is white supremacy. And when we understand that, and when we come together, how powerful we can be and what we can accomplish, we'll be unstoppable. And there'll be so much healing that can take place. But we have to stop this othering of one another, of separating each other as if we don't have this shared history, as if we don't have this story that really bonds us together. We are all peoples impacted or a product of the transatlantic slave trade. We've all been affected by colonization and white supremacy, and we have all seen how much damage that has done to our communities. We've all seen that, and we need to have those conversations so that we can really start to bridge gaps and bring healing, because there's a lot of hurt that we've done to one another, and we have to stop talking to people as if they don't have a right to say anything or to weigh in, because they have been affected by the colorism and anti-blackness that happens in Latino communities. Yeah. Latinos have never needed Black Americans to force their racial biases on.
You know, this whole racial thing between Latinos and the so-called Black Americans is weird to me. It's weird to me because I was born in 1960. So I grew up in a time when Blacks and Latinos were pretty tight. You know, looking at a Latino was like looking at a Black person, and there was no issue, to my knowledge, of a Black person dating a Latino and vice versa. Until, I think it was back in the 90s, there was a Latino friend of mine, a female, and it surprised me because she had a half Black and Latino child, and she referred to that child as her little monkey. We had a conversation about that. It was.
Oh, this is not long enough. I don't know why, but that is how it is. Did I just hear him write black monkey? Anyway, sorry, I didn't want to but there are colorists that have done so many reactions, or have talked about so many things that got to do with Hispanic and how colorists they are among themselves, and which it's not going great within among themselves. They are kind of it is not going great because they are calling out each other, calling one another names and all that. But then it is what it is. In the end, I personally feel like it's still the same thing, the same, all of us, Black American, Hispanic, and all. But then they choose always to drag Black Americans into their discussions and all of that. I don't know what to say anyways. It is what it is. Let me know what you all think in the comment section about this. And this is where I'm going to draw the curtain. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.